You're listening to a new episode. From the French Riviera, here is your host.
Welcome once again. You're still listening to my audio podcast. My name is Jean-Christophe DIMINO, senior broker based on the French Riviera. I can help you buy or sell your property in the city of Nice and the surrounding area. Today, let's talk about rental investment in my hometown. Be careful, because the rules are about to change at the end of the summer 2025.
Avenue Gustave 5.
Imagine living in a city where your neighborhood slowly transforms into a giant hotel, with tourists wheeling suitcases past empty apartments that used to house your friends and neighbors. That's exactly what's happening in Nice, and the mayor has finally decided to fight back.
Those changes must be pretty dramatic for the city to take such strong action. What exactly, Jean-Christophe, are we looking at in terms of numbers?
Well, Jessica, here is what's fascinating. The city has become France's second largest Airbnb hub, with around 13,600 tourist rentals. That's only behind Paris, which is pretty shocking when you consider the size difference between the two cities.
And I understand this is having some really serious effects on specific neighborhoods, right?
Absolutely. The Old Town and port areas are like case studies in urban transformation. Local businesses are shutting down, long-term residents are being pushed out, and entire streets are turning into what the mayor calls tourist dormitories.
That term, tourist dormitories, really paints a picture. What's the city's actual plan to address this?
So they're taking this pretty aggressive approach. They want to cut short-term rentals by 50%, and they've got some new tools to do it, thanks to this anti-Airbnb law that passed in November 2024. They can now set neighborhood quotas, limit rental durations, and really crack down on violations.
You know what's interesting about this? Airbnb is pushing back by pointing out they generated over 4 million euros in tourist tax revenue for Nice in 2023.
Right, but here's the thing, that 4 million euros might actually be costing the city more in the long run. When you lose permanent residents, you're not just losing the community fabric, you're losing year-round economic activity, regular customers for local businesses, and stable tax revenue.
That makes me think about all those small business owners who must be caught in the middle of this.
Exactly. I was reading about this bakery owner who said his business actually declined after his neighborhood became tourist-heavy. Turns out tourists don't buy fresh bread every morning like locals do. And get this, some neighborhoods have seen up to 40% population decline in recent years.
Those numbers are staggering. How is the city actually implementing these changes?
Well, they're being pretty strategic about it. They've already banned those key boxes you see everywhere for Airbnb check-ins, limited rental permits to 12 months without automatic renewal, and they're working on specific quotas for each neighborhood based on how badly they've been affected.
So this is really about finding that balance between tourism and preserving the city's character.
Precisely. And what's really interesting is that Nice isn't just trying to restrict Airbnb, they're actually rethinking their whole approach to tourism. They want to encourage what they call sustainable tourism. Visitors who stay longer and engage more with the local community rather than just passing through.
That sounds like a model other cities might want to follow.
And that's what makes this so important. It could become a template for other cities facing similar issues. Places like Venice, Barcelona, and Amsterdam are all watching closely. Plus, consider this. The mayor is making this move just 1 year before municipal elections, which shows how serious the situation has become.
It really does seem like a defining moment for how cities manage tourism in the future.
You know what's most fascinating about all this?
Tell us.
It's forcing us to answer this fundamental question about what cities are for. Are they primarily living spaces for residents, or are they economic engines driven by tourism? This very touristic city is basically saying you can't have a sustainable tourist economy without protecting the very thing that makes the city special, its local community.
That's really what it comes down to. Finding that sweet spot between being a destination and being a home.
And that's going to be the real challenge moving forward. Can our city maintain its appeal as a tourist destination while ensuring its residents can actually afford to live there It's a balancing act that could reshape how we think about urban tourism everywhere, and specifically when it comes to consider real estate market, rental, and transaction. The situation we're facing is going to have some side effects on prices. And as a local realtor, we could discuss about that. Just comment below this episode or go to my website to interact with me. I'm your host, Jean-Christophe DIMINO, and I will be glad to help you buy or sell your property in cities like Nice, all around the French Riviera. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Jean-Christophe. Bye-bye.
To know more about Jean-Christophe DIMINO's listings collection, go to dimino-properties.kw.com. dimino-properties.kw.com. dimino-properties.kw.com.